where even vehicles have submerged in that river. Right Honorable Speaker, that river, that bridge is on a road that was initially planned to be tarmacked, but under unclear circumstances, in 2021, it was removed from the budget. The road connecting Chenjojo to Kamwenge through Chakatwire up to Kahunge. But discussions are still ongoing, Right Honorable Speaker, about how we can have it restated. Right Honorable Speaker, my concern now that goes directly to the Minister of Finance. I'm sure very soon, I don't want to debate in anticipation, the Minister here will come here with a supplementary very soon to tell us what he's spending under 3%. And the House will be very surprised on the issues they will have spent on. Right Honorable Speaker, if the House is agreeing that everywhere we have these floods, we have these bridges submerging, why can't we agree that in this supplementary they are bringing, they cater for all the bridges? Because they know the supplementary 3% of 72 trillion is a lot of money. Why can't we have that supplementary this time around, managing all these bridges so that our people are able to cross and have their businesses running, Right Honorable Speaker? I want to request this House, Right Honorable Speaker, that this time Honorable Musasisi should not bring us a supplementary, especially on the 3%, where he's only coming to report to us on issues that don't touch our communities. We want a supplementary which handles our emergencies, especially the effects of the bridges collapsing because of the floods.
Thank you. Honorable members, most of the things that you're raising is best raised when the good thing we have a Minister of Disaster here, but other issues I will allow you to raise when the Prime Minister is here at Prime Minister's time. Can we hear from disaster first? Yes, you have a procedural issue.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, from Tororo, Honorable Otara, to the north, to Bunyoro, everybody is crying. Those who are crying loudest so far are from the NRM side. I am raising a procedure if you can only wait. I was born in Masaka, I usually go home. That bridge in Katonga, which was swept away now more than 3 years ago, hasn't been fixed. So are many others before you raise the new one. So the procedure issue I am raising, Madam Speaker, you listed also disasters in your communication and forgot one disaster that befell this country. The disaster of NRM, 38 years in power. So the procedure issue I am raising, Madam Speaker,
which disaster was that?
The disaster of NRM that befell this country 38 years ago.
Which disaster was that?
The NRM coming into power was a disaster.
No.
So I am...
That was not a disaster.
I thought you will allow me and the rule after.
You first
so can I raise?
Because I don't know the disaster you are talking about. Yeah. There is no disaster called the NRM.
No, I thought you will allow me to raise the issue and then you rule, Madam Speaker.
Let me tell you, Honorable Ssemujju, Honorable Ssemujju Ibrahimu, let's have respect for each other, for each other's party. If we are talking about serious matters, where floods are taking people, floods are killing people, nobody in your constituency will take you serious. Because you've talked about a disaster of NRM that has stabilized this country for the 38 years.
Madam Speaker, I thought you would allow me to raise the procedure and then you rule. If what you are saying, and I don't want to engage with you, Madam Speaker, then we wouldn't have MPs here from the ruling party, correct? They should be coming here to celebrate. But each one of them, they are taking our time. We should be the one complaining. Each one of them, if you allow them, they will stand here and complain. Then they will go and say NRM oil. So I am only saying, Madam Speaker, that until, because the chair, you pardon me if she is not, has also been complaining. So everybody is complaining. So what motivates you to support a government that makes you complain? What motivates you? And then you come here and begin complaining. So the procedure issue I am raising, allow me, Madam Speaker, is whether this parliament should not deal with NRM disaster that does not prioritize all roads, that is making you cry. You have heard my brother from Bunyore saying they shouldn't bring a supplementary. Whether that's not the substantive issue we should be dealing with. And then, because your president is now touring bridges that have collapsed and you are here. He's in your areas touring.
Honorable Ssemujju, we do not have an NRM disaster. We don't have an NRM disaster. The disasters we are talking about is of natural disasters. The NRM you're talking about is a party in power. It has been here and it is still going to be there. Can I hear from the Minister of Disaster?
Thank you very much. Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to first of all take note of all the issues raised.
Why don't you be happy that I've initiated her? I have initiated her.
Right Honorable Speaker, 2 months ago I was here.
Hajat wants to say something.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to welcome Honorable Lillian Abel to the fraternity of Hajats. Before you name her Hajat, may she profess what the Hajats profess before they are called Hajats, so that I officially welcome her.
Hajat, for your information, I did all the induction. I did everything.
She's most welcome to the world of, and may you please wear like that all the time. Thank you.
Amen.
Right Honorable Speaker, I do take note and confirm that you did a good job.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Right Honorable Speaker, this period, the weather forecast indicates that we'll have heavy rains. And I did mention this when I came to present a paper on the disaster situations in the country. Right Honorable Speaker, the nature of our disaster response is a multi-sectoral approach. When a disaster occurs, for example, flooding, which has swept off bridges, we coordinate with the Ministry of Works to support the intervention. And we have been doing this. This morning, the Prime Minister chaired a meeting tackling all the disasters in the country and coordinating with the team on response. Right Honorable Speaker, where I need support from this House is a deliberate funding on some key areas that facilitates disaster response. Number one, Right Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Works, the Ministry of Health.
And order.
Madam Speaker, I sit on the Budget Committee. This Parliament moved money from items that Parliament did not consider essential. You went in the cabinet and castigated Parliament. The minister now is saying, I need support from Parliament, which was made almost at gunpoint to restore what the chief executive called the priorities. Is she in order to come here and begin mocking Parliament that it can give her money when what was given was taken away?
Honorable members, honorable members, Honorable Abe is just telling you her plight, her request. She's telling you her request.
So, Right Honorable Speaker, I took note when members were talking about the need to make or to fund Red Cross. I want to confirm that Red Cross gets funding from government under our budget of disaster and also gets funding from international bodies. And they complement our work and we work as a team. Right Honorable Speaker, our interventions are immediate, mid-term, and long-term. The immediate interventions are those that include response in terms of relief items, non-relief items, shelter, among others. The mid-term interventions are the issues that we look at addressing the challenge that we have. Last week, I chaired a meeting that brought together UN agencies and leadership of Ntoroko to look at how we can engage the agencies with modern equipment on bridging where the flooding comes from and affects our people. So we are doing all it takes to do what we can amidst the meager resources that we are allocated. And we pledge to continue providing our response at every time of need. And I also want to confirm that the Ministry of Finance has allocated funding that we are soon going to be dispatching relief items to the different parts of the country, and the requests that were received at reports attached to will receive support of relief items in their respective districts. Other members here can confirm that last week they already received the food items, but we can't send all at once. We will send them bit by bit because of the transportation that will have to rely on the same trucks that we use. I thank you.
There was a clarification.
Madam Speaker, I want to thank you very much, and I thank the Minister. Madam Speaker, some time back, I think 10 years ago, we passed a disaster policy in this Parliament. And the Minister is right to say the way we handle our disasters is multi-sectoral. Within the policy framework, the government is supposed to come up with programs to address some disaster issues that reoccurs and avoid it reoccurring. Madam Speaker, like the issues of bridges flooding, within the policy, we have engineers' studies should have been conducted and to come up with a mechanism to ensure that in the next 2-3 years, we do not have more bridges re-flooding and roads closed. It is within the policy. So that the issues of roads flooding, it is being closed because of rain, stops. Madam Speaker, that is within the policy. The Minister has not talked about it. It is going to be year in, year out. Secondly, the issue of homesteads being washed is within the policy. It's the global climate issues. It is within the policy that within a radius everywhere there should be trees and mechanism established. It is within the policy. Madam Speaker, I'm not hearing the Minister talking about it. The Minister now meeting international NGOs to bridge areas. Madam Speaker, the population of Uganda is increasing. It is within the policy. And as poverty is not being addressed, population will continue to affect the swamps and the sources of the rivers. And the mechanism is within the policy to ensure that the community within the rivers, river banks, and so forth are moved away and money is provided. The minister is not talking about that. Madam Speaker,
Thank you.
I'm asking clarification from the Honorable Minister. When are you coming up with a comprehensive program to implement the policy so that resources provided for and stop this ping pong year in and year out?
Honorable Minister, I want to refer you to Article 249 of the Constitution of Republic of Uganda, the Disaster Preparedness and Management Commission. There shall be a Disaster Preparedness and Management Commission for Uganda to deal with both natural and man-made disasters. 2. Parliament shall, for the purpose of this article, prescribe the composition, the functions, and procedures for implementation of the functions of this commission. When shall we have a commission to this effect that will help us manage these disasters in the country? It is a constitutional requirement.
Right, Honorable Speaker, that is underway. We had a meeting and discussed that with the senior minister, and we are meant to have another meeting with the Prime Minister to discuss the issue of the commission. Right, Honorable
Then number
Speaker,
2, when do we have an amendment on the Red Cross Act of 1964?
Right, Honorable Speaker, that is a task that we will take on with the Attorney General and will report back to Parliament.
Madam Speaker. Clarification, Madam
Yes.
Speaker.
But Honorable Speaker, I wanted to say something on the disaster risk policy, management policy. The policy is exactly what the honorable member talked about. But we have to fund the policy. The policy looks at decentralization of the approach on response. We need to procure equipment. If we know Bududa Elgon's region is prone to issues of landslide, then the equipment meant for response for landslide must be assembled within that area. But we cannot implement the policy the way it is if we don't fund the policy.
Madam Speaker, procedure, Madam Speaker. Procedure, Madam Speaker.
Ayat.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. The procedure issue I am raising, Right Honorable Speaker, is to the effect of the oversight role of this Parliament. Right Honorable Speaker, when we delegate to committees, we don't delegate our oversight role. A year back, Right Honorable Speaker, Parliament interviewed a team of judges appointed by the President into an acting capacity. 6 months later, the same names appeared for appointment into substantive capacity. And one of the many names...
Not 6 months. It was 2 years after.
Thank you, thank you.
Can I request something? That you bring up that issue when the Prime Minister is in.
Right Honorable Speaker, I would put the issue so that you give a directive.
No. I have a reason why I want you to bring when the Prime Minister is in.
Thank you. Most obliged.
Procedure, Madam Speaker.
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want first of all to thank the new minister. Your submissions are good, and since you have been inducted by the Speaker, you are on dot. But Madam Speaker, the procedure matter I'm raising, a while ago you talked about the Minister for Presidency. And on several occasions before this Parliament, I've complained and I've raised procedure matters of ministers who are ever absent here. One time I talked about Honorable Minister Mayanja with the issues of attacking Uganda Kingdom and missing Parliament over 100 times. Now here we are. You talked about Minister for Presidency here. She's also another ex-official who doesn't appear. But we have issues, any issues dealing with the President. The Minister for Presidency should be...
Gonzaga. Honorable Mayanja actually came while you are away.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Then secondly, the Minister of Presidency is just next to. So if you have a question to ask, please ask.
Okay, thank you, Madam Speaker. But I think he's representing the other one, but let me take it as you have stated. The powers are vested in you. My issue on the Minister for Presidency, there is a gentleman in Karungu called Mr. Ssemujju Vincent. I think he is a combatant, but this man was conned by State House operatives to get access to the president, and he paid them 20 million to see the president. And my interest, Minister for Presidency, through the Speaker, is to know how can somebody who wants to meet a president of the country have to pay money? What criteria do they use? This is an old man who's going to die. Spending, what's the price or the right price of meeting General Museveni in the State House by his own combatants?
Honorable members.
And who are those people conning? People from Karungu, where I come from.
Honorable
20
members,
million, Mr. Vincent Ssemujju.
Honorable members, listen to the member.
And
you're finished.
Madam Speaker, this story is not a joke. It comes from the government paper, New Vision. This is New Vision writing a full page of somebody conning.
Honorable members,
the
President has always said, no, he does not, nobody should be charged money for seeing him. If that perpetrator is doing that, then he should be brought to book. He is not an agent of the president. Honorable Mayanja, Chofa.
Yes, Right Honorable Speaker.
The issue of conning money to see the president. Can I ask you to take up that issue and have that person brought to book?
Most obliged, Right Honorable
The money
Speaker.
should be refunded back to the person they conned the money from. They do not pay money to see the president.
I will seek assistance from Honorable Sewungu to host me with the details of the gentleman, and then we carry on.
Thank you. Lob.
Speaker, the Honourable Minister, take advantage of this news, lay on table, the telephone number of this gentleman is attached, and kindly do the needful as you look for where you put your rosary today.
Honourable members, before Lob comes in the public gallery, we have officials from Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development. They include Ms. Nakafero Angela, Commissioner, Ms. Nagawa Rebecca. Please stand up. You're not here. They're there. And Ms. Doreen Bakeha. They are here, accompanied by staff of Parliament in the Department of Corporate Planning and Strategy, Gender and Equity, Parliament of Uganda, led by Mrs. Anyoti. Salome, you're most welcome, and thank you so much for coming. They are here on the statement of 16 days of activism, campaign against gender-based violence. In the public gallery, we have a delegation of leaders and officials from Kabale Regional Hospital. They are led by Dr. Nyeko Fielder, the Senior Executive Consultant. Where are you? You're most welcome, and thank you so much for coming. Thank you. And they are represented by Honorable Bahati David and Dr. Kamara. Dr. Kamara and Honorable Catherine. Catherine, first come and greet your people. Kamara, you start.
I want to thank you for your indulgence, Madam Speaker. I also want to take this opportunity to welcome the executive of Kabale Regional Referral Hospital Parliament. This is a mode of parliament which is only in 4 hospitals: Moroto, Guru, Lira, and Masaka. These are representatives of the workers in the hospital. They include heads of department, in charge, and top management. The only thing they don't do is making laws, but they do oversight, they debate, and they also do represent their members. Madam Speaker, they have also told me to thank you and the entire Parliament for the appropriation the Parliament has done, because the Kabale Regional Referral Hospital has now a modern CT scan. It also has, through your appropriation members, Kabale Regional Referral Hospital, also a modern ICU is under construction. On top of that, I also want to thank you, honorable members, for appropriation, which has enabled the Kabale Hospital to have 3 oxygen plants. However, they still have challenges, and one of the top challenges they have is the staff structure. Under the new structure, Kabale Hospital always comes lowest. It is staffed at the level of 22%.
Please sit.
And since we have started the budgeting process,